Hello everyone, this is Max and you are watching EquityMatch-Europe pitch event. Today we have four great founders coming from the US and UK, and here you are. You can see all of them. Andrei, Stefan, Kris, and Kris, thank you so much for coming. And before introducing each of you, everyone wants to come to pitch any fund that you can email pitch@equitymatch.com. And we'll be more than welcome, of course, to welcome you. You can raise any question to our founders today during the Q&A, as well as we go live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, so you can watch us now live on these two platforms. So without taking any more time from our founders, I'm going to introduce our founder number one, Kris Phillips, Chief Business Officer of Flux Tensor Corp, Missouri, US, software development, seed round 2-3 million in USD. How's it going, Kris?
It's going well, Max. Thank you.
Thanks to you for coming. Please, just give an introduction to yourself and after straight to pitch.
Great. I've been in the tech space for about 25 years, most recently focused on location services. What are my assets doing? How are they moving about? That's supporting situational awareness in defense and intel, also using location services to help with the development of a perception stack within autonomous vehicles. That led me to some longtime colleagues, and we decided to try and get Flux Tensor off the ground, which led me here today to you, and I appreciate the opportunity. And with that, I will jump in. So back in 2021, it was estimated that there were over 1 billion security cameras in place today, and almost no one is watching them. Even though there's significant demand and need to monitor these in real time, it's just not happening, in large part because it's an impossible task. The image that you're seeing on this screen is actually a single person operational environment where they're being asked to monitor 20 to 50 video streams. This is for Bay Area Rapid Transit. It's not only impossible or difficult to monitor 20 to 50 feeds, there's a lot of complex noise and background nuisance motion that a human has to basically discern a non-event from an event. What we're proposing is that by using our algorithms, we can actually establish an attention queuing mechanism that makes their jobs more reasonable. Right. How do we do that? We do that through a series of algorithms that will serve as a pre-screen. Okay, this is a math-based approach, and the way we're doing this is we're actually looking at pixel-to-pixel changes in a series of frames in a video. Right. So like neighbors are moving in a similar direction, have a similar pattern, that gives us a temporal and spatial fingerprint for each individual frame or for a series of frames and those pixels within those frames. So this is a general approach. We do not have to train AI or ML models for each individual camera view, for each individual scene. It's a general approach that works regardless of the background, regardless of the view. Right. Because it's a math-based approach, it's also edge capable, meaning it can run with limited computing power, which allows us to actually deploy this onto the capture systems themselves, in most cases a camera or a video camera. Hopefully this video runs. This is a look at how we compare to existing Gaussian commercial available noise or background reduction capabilities. In the upper left, you have the raw video feed. In the upper right, you have one commercially available capability. The lower left, you have another commercial capability. And in the lower right, you have the split Gaussian approach that is Flux Tensors. We're not perfect. You will see that we pick up bits of the fountain, but we do a much better job of reducing that foreground noise or nuisance motion and helping isolate the object and the event of interest. In this case, it's a vehicle moving in the background. What does the market look like? You can slice it a bunch of different ways. We took this approach for this presentation, but happy to chat about other ways of doing this. If there are 1 billion cameras out there today and they're operating 24/7, that equates to almost 9 trillion video hours in the course of a year. Right? Another way of looking at it is if you're storing that data, that equates to almost over 200 exabytes of data per month. Right? To put that in comparison, what exists in the entire YouTube library today is about 100 times less than that. So it's a massive amount of data. If only a percentage of that is valuable and we could get up to $1 per day per asset, in this case, maybe per camera, you're talking about a $73 to $75 billion market opportunity. Okay. And we have 3 entrees into that market. In the upper left, we're actually showing an image of the United States and the existing cameras and their installed base. You can see based on the variety of iconography, these represent a wide variety of different cameras. Our approach, again, because it's math-based, will work on infrared, thermal, RGB, high res, low res, doesn't matter what the capture device is, it's universally performant. And that will allow us to quickly get into real-time alerts for human operators, as we talked about. It will allow us to basically get into AI and ML training models to better inform those models, essentially giving them a pre-annotated or a pre-labeled view of what they're about to embark on or about to learn from. And then if we're archiving this data, 99.9% of this is never going to be looked at. If you have a lightweight, inexpensive solution, why not scan all of that stuff in the archive and see if we can't find events that would otherwise go unnoticed or never looked at? So that's our approach to the market. Where are we today? We have non-dilutive funding from the Department of Homeland Security. They are bringing us to their large security customers that they define as 500 cameras at least as an install. And they're really looking at high value, immediate response to reduce nuisance motion or false alarms. And this is transportation. Think train stations, not necessarily airports. It's border patrol and it's commercial facilities. So a lot of activity in and around sports stadiums, NFL, MLB, NBA, and a lot of activity to preclude or better understand perimeter intrusion around pipeline, if you think oil and gas. So that's where we are today. A quick look at the team, a couple of PhDs. Our CEO is a longtime serial entrepreneur. Dr. Pal is sort of the brains behind this innovation. And I've introduced myself. We're bringing on Jason Peters. That's my timer, so I'll wrap up. Jason Peters is going to lead our engineering efforts, and that's ultimately where 70% of our funding is going to go. We're looking at, we're asking for $2 to $3 million in seed financing in the form of a convertible note. We're safe. And the vast majority of that would go to engineering to get us to market as quickly as possible. And with that, I will say thank you.
Thank you, Kris. Before I start, if anyone who wants to raise questions to Kris, please do it now if you want. Kris, where is the business opportunity in terms of what you already told who are the clients today, but what's the value proposition to them? So do you still need someone watching these cameras, this screen? Can you just articulate better at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So what's happening in large part today in these environments is there's so much background noise, either in the form of daytime, nighttime, reflection, lights. You essentially have to train your model for each one of those environments, for each one of those scenes. So imagine having to train 1 billion cameras. That means there's 1 billion different scenes, and the scene's different in day than it is at night. This is a generic approach that will be able to identify objects and the object behavior in any of those environments. And the value proposition to our customers is right now, because of that background noise or nuisance motion, as Department of Homeland Security refers to it, they're getting a lot of false positives, meaning they're sending resources out to explore something that is essentially a non-event or is innocuous. Their AI and ML models are getting tricked regularly because they're seeing things as events that are actually non-events. We're helping them as a pre-screening mechanism eliminate that so that they become more efficient.
So you must tell to the algorithm, to the AI, what exactly they must look for in terms of...
Exactly. So what we can do, if you're talking about supporting an AI or ML development effort, what we will do is we will actually be a precursor to their modeling development. And we will say, this is a bag, and this bag was in motion, and then it came to rest. Or this is a vehicle, and this vehicle is in motion, and then it came to rest in an area that we know to be free from vehicles. And so we would basically serve that up as a precursor either to a human operator to say, you need to cue your attention over here because we saw this object exhibiting this behavior. Or we could be a precursor to those AI and ML development efforts to say, hey, this is a pre-annotated scene, meaning we know this is a bag and we know this bag is behaving this way. That model then has more information than it would if it was just looking at a scene for the first time.
Is the system up and running already?
It is, yes. We are operational. We are operational in a couple of test beds right now for both DHS and specifically TSA, with plans to expand there.
But in terms of monetization,
we are pre-revenue at the moment, and just getting essentially through these test beds. We expect that to change.
but how does it work? How do you make money exactly?
Yeah, so a good question. One of two ways, actually. There's a traditional SaaS licensing model where we would license to potentially seats or operator stations like you saw in the presentation. Or we're finding this to be true for a lot of our prospective customers. They actually have more OpEx budget than they do CapEx budget. So we would turn this into a service and we would charge on a per camera hour basis. And in that particular case, depending on the use case, we might be down to 10 cents per camera hour, in some cases even lower than that. So it becomes pretty affordable if you wanted to tap into an OpEx and go with the service model.
Who are the competitors in this niche market? So what are you are not opening a new market, you're taking share from someone else. So
Yeah.
what are them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's a fine line between what's competitive and what's partner opportunity for us. And I'm sure you've heard that before. There are a lot of video management systems out there already. There are a lot of camera companies out there already. They're building video analytics. We would essentially be a bolt-on to one of those. So it wouldn't necessarily be taking their market share. We would be enhancing their capabilities and partnering with them. And that's really our go-to-market strategy.
Kris, unfortunately, we don't have so much time, only 5 minutes, but thank you so much. Stay, we are bringing you back soon. And moving to our second founder. Thank you so much. Andrei Dylenok. Okay, I'm done. CEO CartaMe, Delaware, US, mobile fintech, mobile application, pre-series around 4 million. How's it going, Andrei? Can you hear me? You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I hear you. Can I see my presentation?
Yes, please. Give an introduction to yourself and after go straight to pitch.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrei Dylenok. I am CEO and co-founder fintech startup CartaMe. Today, I want to address a common challenge we all face in our daily lives. We all use different bank cards for our daily purchases, but these cards only identify us as a payers to the bank, not to the retailer. To get reward from loyalty programs, we need additional card, loyalty card, or use another way to identify yourself to get bonuses. This disconnect affects not only you and me as customer, but also retailers, banks, and international payment system. All are missing opportunities to benefit from improved customer experience. To make a difference, we put the interest of the customer, the person, first. We have created a CartaMe mobile application where the user registers and receives QR code, CartaMe ID. Next, we integrate CartaMe ID and user data into retail loyalty programs and in the bank card in the same time. This elevates our bank card into a universal loyalty card with payment function. We don't change the loyalty programs of the retailers, but give the CartaMe users access to them using his CartaMe ID, which is the same for all retailers. We call it Digital Customer Passport. Our solution benefits for everyone involved in retail sales. Users get access to multiple retailers' loyalty programs by register one in the app and using one ID instead of many. Partner banks get increased sales of their retail card products through the additional unique value proposition for the bank cards. Retailers get up-to-date customer data and environment to communicate with them. Certainly, we have competitors, it's loyalty card aggregators and bank co-brand cards. But there is a good demand for our solution from customers, bank, and international payment system. As a recognition of our efforts, we have been named Visa Brand of the Year for record sales of our card. We receive revenue from Visa for each active card, from bank, percent from transaction on our cards, for in-app advertising, and from retailers for customer data transferred to them. Currently, we integrate with the top 30 largest retailers in 3 different countries, attracted more than 200,000 users, and generate $100,000 in revenue. We operate in one of the biggest markets in the world, payment cards and retail markets. To further promote CartaMe in developed market, it's 36 countries, Western Europe, USA, MENA region, Canada, United Kingdom. To further promote CartaMe in these markets, we are actively seeking new investments. We already have a lead investor, it's Faster Capital venture fund from Emirates. Our company incorporates in USA, Delaware. CartaMe team is an experienced team. Create a seamless environment for easy participation in loyalty program, which our card saving as a key entry point, supported by our mobile application. All our team members, it's a ex-CEO of biggest company as Huawei, Watson's, one of the biggest bank in our country, and another guys. We are very encouraged that our solution is recognized and supported by 2 accelerators, Accelerator IBM Corporation and Accelerator Rayyar Bank, where we currently participate in. Our main goal to have a CartaMe in every wallet, both digital, I show it for you, and physical. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Andrei. In terms of customer acquisition, how does it work on your side? I mean, how do you find all the customers? Through retailers or in which way?
Not through retailers. We attract customers from open markets. Our main channels, it's digital marketing channels and influencers. We attract customers from the open markets and after send their personal data in all loyalty programs. It's opportunity for our retailers, for our partners, retailers, to attract new customers in the shops. We generate a lot of new personal data every day for retailers because we attract users from open market, not from our retailers partners.
So you attract users from the open market, you bring them to the retailers.
Yes, really. We told for our potential users that, do you have a lot of loyalty cards? Can you change it only for one card? Only for one application? And the users, yes, I want it. And a lot of our mobile application registers, and after we send their details to the retailers and to the banks.
In terms of onboarding the retailers, now, for what I can see, you are mostly in Eastern Europe.
Yes. We integrate with retailers, and it's very not so easy because we integrate with biggest retailers, with biggest software loyalty programs for these retailers. And our integration have a specific. We send to retailers personal data of our users, but not have from retailers personal data of the customers that retailers have before us. We only send our users and take from retailers only how much bonuses, for example, you, Max, as our user have, how much % of discounts you have, and what the special offers from retailers, all marketing information from retailers for your comfortable. Where on the map, you can see on the map where the closest shop for you, what time of the work in the shop, what the special offer, discounts. You can go to the market, go to the picture of the goods and go to the website of the retailer and offer these goods, for example, online. But we create service for offline retailer and create omni channels, online, offline, inside in our application.
I mean, in terms of revenue, where the bulk of the revenue coming from? You had different revenue streams.
Yes, we have two revenue streams. One channel, it's a financial channel. Another channel, it's a marketing channel. Financial channel, we have revenue from Visa for each issued card that we issue in our application, and from bank, our partner's bank, passing from transaction from these cards. It's financial. Marketing channel, we have money from retailers for personal data of our users, new customers for the retailers, only from you, and for advertising inside in our application. Our most advertisers, it's banks, retailers, insurance companies.
I mean, you won't be affected by, because you are working in the EU now, and I mean not completely in the EU, but pretty much so. So if you're moving inside EU with data, EU has some no problems, but you need to adjust something.
Yes, we understand. Our solution is very attractive for people, and for me especially, not problem to involve in our company or in our partnership the top management of different companies, because it's understandable and it's a pain point for all people. When somebody understands what we do, that's only one ID. It's barrier-free environment. You don't need all this mobile application, collect your points in different spheres. You have only one big red button for all problems with bonuses of retailers. And it's very interesting for people when the managers understand what we do, they involve without problem in our solution.
The company is headquartered in the US, but your market is Europe, East Europe. How are you going to scale after? Are you going one day you will move to the US as well as a market?
Yes, now we operate in the small markets, but we attract money, attract investment for developing our solution in the markets where a lot of retailers, a lot of loyalty programs, and a lot of customers who use the mobile application of the bank and use the smartphones. It's for us the most comfortable. It's 36 countries. It's all European Union, Great Britain, North America, and MENA region, Saudi Arabia, Emirates. All these regions comfortable for us, for our solution.
You cover almost all the world.
Our dream, when, for example, you, Max, order our bank card and go from America, for example, to Mexico, from Mexico to Germany, and in all these countries, you use only one ID on your bank card, only this ID. You understand where the closest shop, where you save the money. It's barrier-free environment, international barrier-free environment, and new value for the bank card. Our bank card can identify the pair for retailers, not only for banks, but for retailers. It's very important because now it's disconnected approach when we need two cards, two additional ID. It's our dream to create a barrier-free environment, digital barrier.
Andrei, thank you so much. Stay there, don't go, because we're all back soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Stefan Lavergne, co-CEO Meraki People Solution, Texas, US, Human Resource Management and Recruiting, seed around 2.5 million. How's it going, Stefan?
I'm doing well. How are you, Max?
Oh, good. Thank you so much for coming. So, if you want to give an introduction to yourself, and after, don't wait for me, go.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for having me, and thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule. My name is Stephen Lavergne. I'm the one of the co-founders of Meraki People Solutions. I've been in the, I'm going to date myself here, but I've been in the HR recruiting space for over 25 plus years, managed global teams for startups and Fortune 500 companies. And so, yeah, I've been around this for a bit. So, and I'll definitely jump right in here and get started. So, we've our team is looking to be disruption. And I know for some that's crazy, but we're looking to be a positive disruption in the HR tech space. We have been around this for quite some time. We've worked in the tech space, the HR tech space for years, and so we're looking to build something that's going to be a positive disruption. Part of that is our team. Our team is made up, as you can see, of people that have been in the tech space, in the HR space, HR and TA space for 25 plus years. A plethora of knowledge. I myself have been at 7 different startups, along with my team. They've worked at a bunch of different startups and Fortune 500 companies. So we've actually used quite a bit of HR tech in those companies, but we never felt like we could really jump onto something that we really liked on the applicant tracking system side. So we have taken the time to come up with, and our mission is to disrupt the status quo in the talent acquisition space and the applicant tracking system world. We know with our team, a strong, experienced team. We know our customer target base. We've studied the market. We know the market. We've been in the market for years, and our goal is to crush the limitations on what current applicant tracking systems do. Ours will do something different, as well. So here's the problem. The problem in the industry with applicant tracking systems is there's a lot of manual process, large applications. I know when I worked the desk, I would manage 10 to 15 positions, and you're getting hundreds of applications in. What do you do with those? How do you identify the best talent? There's a lot of inefficiencies and redundancies in a lot of the current platforms, and then there's increased cost as well too. And then how does a recruiter strategize around that as well too? So we have come up with a solution. We've taken months in designing this this tool, and really to incorporate some positive disruptors in that. So just some of the contextual candidate insights, AI candidate matching. On demand, where our site is different, because I know people are going to ask what is going to be different from our ATS and others. One of the things is we started off as a consulting company, and we planned on integrating our consulting into the platform. So when a new founder has it's on our platform and they have questions, they have a library of questions based on the level that they sign up for. So that was one. Predictive analytics for performance, really working with workflows for CRM tools and some candidate sourcing intelligence, as well too. Those are just a few. We have a ton more. I didn't want to put them all on and kind of bog down the screen, but we have a ton more of solutions and products that we want to add to the platform too. So the business model is it is a subscription-based model. So based on the employee size. And you can see it there. Then they can add the consulting tool on. They will get some consulting when they sign on to the base model package. So they'll have some of that as well too. What's the market look like? Well, the market is growing in the HR tech space. The total U.S. market right now is around 2.5 billion. It's going to jump up to about 4.1 billion by 2030. The market that we want, the niche of startup and USB market, is around 996 million. And it's going to jump up to about 1.6 billion, if not more, by 2030. Our competition, we know it well. I mean, I've used a lot of these systems, and they are all lacking certain things. I know a few of them have gone back to get funding to try to add some AI into a platform that we're trying to build. But all these are lacking some things, and again, I think they're formidable competitors. But I think, and I know our platform will outshine them in the long run. Our raise, our ask, we're looking for around $2.5 million. This is a proof of concept. We've created it. We presented it to a dev team. A dev team says they can build it out in 25 weeks. We can be to market with an MVP. And then really we phase this out into adding more features over the current phases. But we're really excited. We know that this could be something really, really big. Our exit strategy is acquisition. We know we've been talking to some companies already that are going to be watching us, so we know that is a possibility as well too. So, and in the last 12 seconds, want to say thank you again. We're excited about the opportunity, about what this platform can potentially do in the system and working with a potential partner. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stefan. Who are your competitors, if many, are trying to tackle HR with tech?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
I say, if many are trying to tackle HR with technology, AI, any kind of. How do you stand out from the crowd? Because it's pretty crowded.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think, like I said before, one of the things that we bring tons of years of experience. We're tackling a small bit in the HR tech space on the applicant tracking system side, and I think what we want to do is want to make sure also a lot of startups struggle with getting information, which tools to use, and things like that. So how we've incorporated our consulting into the platform, where once a company signs up a founder, some of their hiring managers can easily go to the consulting side, and then we have workbooks that'll be downloaded that they can go and they can reference those. But also we understand that AI is moving, right? And one of the things that we want to do is make sure that we don't take the people part of it out of that. We have the AI piece in there, we have the people piece, so that people can get the best of both worlds. We have the AI piece to streamline some of the functionality, but the people piece is also going to be there to be able to add things into that and add some advice and add training into that where AI can't do all that.
But what distinguishes for example, the matchmaking side, where you have many applying, you must decide who is for you the talent. So how does the AI or the people watching beside the AI deciding? There are any rules that make your system different from the other on the market today?
Yes. So one of the things that we wanted to do with that, just in particular, what we looked at is, building a platform that basically the hiring manager takes a job description, they can form it and basically put in the keywords. The system will match. So let's say I'm working a job and there is 150 applicants. They apply. The system will then take their applications or their resumes, match it to the job description, and it'll parse out all the ones that are not a fit, so I don't have to worry about that. And then it'll keep in. So let's say out of that 150, it parsed out and kept 25. So then the recruiter knows those 25 are the ones that are going to be a good fit for the job description, and then they can go through and start screening those and make it a lot easier process. I know at times when I worked the desk, I'd have 200 or 300 candidates, and I have to go through each one of those one by one. And a lot of these systems are still like that. You got to go through and you got to look through. If there's 500, you got to go through all 500. Our system is going to parse all that out, so you don't have to.
But in terms of scaling, how much job will be done by tech and how much will be done by humans?
That's something that we're still working on. We're trying to make it to where it could be a 50-50 split or a 60-40 split, to where the humans are doing 60% and then the AI is doing some. What we typically found and what we find right now is there are mundane manual jobs that recruiters, hiring managers, and even candidates are doing in a process, to where those can be automated, to where you're not taking out the human element of it, to where it's just easier functionality and making the job easier.
So when the MVP will be released, and what's the go-to-market strategy?
Yeah, so as soon as if we were to land funding, our dev team told us the MVP can be out in 25 weeks. So we're ready, they're ready, we're ready to go to get to market. We've already identified and we're working with current clients now on the startup and SMB side, just with our consulting on the outside of the platform. But it wouldn't take us long at all to get this thing up and running, and and to market, and then start rolling out the phases after that as well.
The market will be UK, US?
To start, we want this to be a global product. So we would start in the US, and then we would start with English-speaking countries, the UK, maybe Ireland, some other countries like that, and then move into Asia and some of those other ones. But an ATS can go and be anywhere as long as it's in different languages. It can be used, and then there's certain laws that go with it. But we've talked about that, and it's something that we want to do.
Stefan, thank you so much. Stay. We are very much back soon. Thank you so much. And
Thanks, man.
moving to funder number 4, last but of course not the least, Kris Venkatesh. I think I made it. CEO of Rayyar Global. You are Kris. London, UK, funding pre-seed 1 million in pounds.
Yes, hi, thank you. You got my name right, so well done on that.
I made it. Thank you so much for coming. If you want to give an introduction to yourself and after goes to the pitch. Thank you.
Yes, sure. Thank you so much. So, hi everybody, and thank you for the opportunity. And Rayyar is a company that has just recently launched, and I can take you through as to what I'm doing. So, just a background about myself. I've been in risk management for more than 16 years, and I've assessed companies of different sizes, government organizations, large corporates, SME companies. Most recently, I've also been very instrumental in scaling a startup. So what I have identified is that I've seen a massive gap in the market where SME companies and growth stage companies are, not getting the access to funding that they should require. And that's where, this company has been started. So I've been speaking to lots of founders, SME owners, small cafes, exporters, importers. And for example, when you are manufacturing a product and you have a contract now to stock your product in the shelves of supermarkets, large market supermarkets like say Waitrose, Walmart, example, you need to hire, you need to borrow to kind of hire staff and scale your product. And that's where the funding opportunity is not there. And this is the driving force behind me coming and helping SMEs. So it will be a platform. It will obviously involve some technology, but it's not that the machine is doing the work. It's not that the AI or, there's a lot of buzzwords out there, but it's not the computer says yes or no. There will be risk management and credit underwriting. I'm building that model, which I can IP. But the idea here is we will also be talking to borrowers, trying to understand their business, and we will be trying to assess and approve a loan or a term loan based on the creditworthiness of the company more than just a personal guarantee, which I'll take you through. So we're looking to start with working capital as the only product for now, expanding to asset finance, inventory finance in the future, looking to start in the UK and scale to Europe at some point in the future. We will be looking at companies that are in the market for at least 18 months with a minimum turnover of 1 million, ticket size between 100K to 1 million, and tenure anywhere up to 12 months. And we're sector agnostic at the moment, but I see that there is a lot of demand for this product with manufacturing, retail, technology, OEMs. In terms of go-to-market, yes, we will be doing a marketing campaign, social media, but I'm also talking to a lot of the credit brokers, accountants who are, working with these SMEs. So hopefully that would be the best point of contact. What I'm looking to do out of today, well, yes, I am looking to borrow or raise a pre-seed round of 1 million. This will be instrumental in setting up the company. I've already incorporated, but hiring staff, the office. Initially, it would be working from home in a co-working space, but also in building the platform. In terms of the balance sheet to lend out, I have already got some interest and some LOIs from debt investors, private credit investors. So that would be used to borrow, to lend out. That would be the money that I borrow to lend out. Whereas the 1 million is going to be equity raise, and that is mainly to hire staff and for my working capital. It should give me an 12 to 18 month runway. Competitor analysis. So there is not a lot of people doing this at the moment because a lot of people like Funding Circle and Momenta, they tend to give loans out, but on personal guarantee basis, and it's a longer term. Businesses will have to go through another round of fundraising. So they'll have to go to VCs, private equity companies, but they can't just borrow for 6 to 12 months, and that's where I see the gap here. And last but not least, Rayyar, the name comes from the Latin verb to shine of the sun, and I've added an extra Y to make it a palindrome. And just as the sun's rays reach every corner of the room, we aim to service the market efficiently. Apologies if I've gone a bit too quick, but that's the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Kris. In terms of borrowing, you're borrowing unsecured debt.
The borrower is borrowing from me. Yes, they are borrowing unsecured. There would be a charge over the company's assets, or a debenture, as it's known in other countries. But as much as possible, the aim is to provide this facility without personal guarantee. If in the instance that it is required, I'm not going to say no, we might need it, but the aim is obviously as much as possible to do it on the creditworthiness of the company.
And how do you, as the borrower is borrowing unsecured, for him it's fine. It's the hope of everyone borrowing unsecured debt. But on your side, how do you mitigate the risk?
Yes, that's a very good question. So it's the credit model that will be the main key here. So like I said, I've got a funding criteria. So it's not any company that can borrow. You will have to have been in business for 18 months. You should have a minimum turnover of $1 million. You should have good, in terms of capital ratios, current ratios, you should have some level of, your business should be managed properly. It should not be very highly geared. The other thing is, I'm going to assess your past performance and also your future earning potential. So if you've got a contract from a leading, say, retailer, and you're going to scale your product, I'm going to assess both your future earning potential as well as your past performance. So it's the credit underwriting that is going to be the key here, more than just a personal guarantee from the owner. And yes, I approve a loan.
But I saw you're borrowing, you're lending at the very beginning, working capital, which is probably the most risky part of lending money. Are you using, for example, invoices as asset?
Yes, so there would be some level of recourse in terms of obviously receivables, but that's where the charge over the company's assets will help, because it would be a blanket charge over the company's assets, which will include receivables as well.
I think you are charging up to 36% per year, which is pretty high, which means...
That's right. It's to reflect the risk. That's correct, yes. So 18 to 36 is a broad range. I see the sweet spot mainly between 18 and 25% in terms of good creditworthy clients, and the rate is reflective of the risk. The reason founders or owners would want to probably pay that is because they might not be homeowners, they might not want to give personal guarantee or equity, and they might be willing to pay the extra percentage in interest because they understand that it's rate for risk.
So you must have a very strong assessment to make sure that this guy can afford 25% per year.
That is correct, yes. That is correct. So I trust, because I've been in risk management for more than 16 years, that's my background. And I have obviously managed portfolios, most recently up to the tune of 800 million with my previous company with the team. So I come with that background, and I come with the confidence that my risk assessment will be able to manage risks that way.
This is my last time, unfortunately, we don't have so much time. But which is your book size? You're lending between 100 and 1 million, if I remember.
That's right. 100,000 pounds to 1 million pound is the amount that I'm lending out.
The loan book, the value of amount of money be lending per year, how much must be for you to get some kind of good return?
Yeah, so the credit facility, the debt facility that I'm talking to a couple of investors at the moment is 10 million. So the 1 million that I'm requesting today is a pre-seed round on the equity side. That's for my working capital. But you're right. So the 10 million that I'm borrowing from the private credit funds will be the one that I'll be lending out. So I'm not going to say I'll have 10 clients of 1 million each, but you can do the math. Like, if I do a few clients at 500,000, 100,000, in total, I'll have a spread and a portfolio.
Okay, I'm not going to too much in between how much you pay and how much you charge. But Kris, thank you so much. Stay there. Don't go because we're bringing all our funders right now all back.
Thank you.
Let me start with you, Kris, as you are there already. In 20 seconds, convincing investors watching the event, how do you convince them? Why invest in your startup, yourself, your team?
Thank you. Yes. So the reason I would want you to invest in my startup is for two things. One, you would be supporting the ecosystem. SMEs are very badly funded, UK and Europe, and that would obviously help everybody. But the other reason is because it is a market where investors will be able to get a good return on their investment. So I can obviously take it further on another call, take you through my projections, but it is a model which is profitable. So it is a win-win for everyone.
Thank you so much, Kris. Andrei. Unmute.
It's very simple. CartaMe will be a billion company.
That's it. This is the shortest and the most convincing. If you want to get on board of 1 billion, come on, come in. Thank you so much, Andrei. Stefan.
Yeah, the HR tech world on the ATS side is growing. It's a big market. Our team is experienced. We're excited. We're hungry, and I think it'll be a fun ride for somebody to come along with us on this journey. We have a lot of great ideas. We just need the financial backing to get started, but it's definitely worth it.
Thank you so much, Stefan. Kris, please close this pitch there.
All right. Well, broadly speaking, the video analytics piece of the security and surveillance market is the most rapidly growing, fastest growing by a long shot. The CAGR over the next 6 years is 24%, which brings us from a $6 billion market to a $35 billion market between now and 2030. And that's just the video analytics piece. I have not seen solutions out there that can be broadly and generally applied like ours. I think that makes us a prime target for potentially acquisition or partnering in that space today. But the growth is expected to be phenomenal.
Thank you so much, Kris. As we don't have any questions raising from the audience, Kris, Andrei, Stefan, and Kris, thank you so much for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure. I really enjoy talking to funders almost every day. And I really wish you all the best. And I hope in Equity Match we can help you to raise these funds. As we give all the details, and everyone can go to our YouTube channel and watch again this pitch event. Everyone can get in touch directly with the funder. You don't need to come to us. We are not charging any form of success fee. So just go straight to them. You can talk to them. If you want to come to us, you're more than welcome, and we'll make the warm introduction. Thank you again, and see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Max. Thank you, guys. Good luck for everyone.